Yo, welcome back, everybody, fight fans all around the world, to another episode of The Champ and the Champ, where we basically talk about and prospect who the next UFC champion is going to be in every weight class, female and male. The way we do that, look at the past card and what is coming up next, what's at the horizon. But before we get any further, I got to introduce my co host, the other half of this show, Champ. How we doing?
Double champ. I think you got to mute your mic. You have two mics because you're too good.
Uh, okay. Let me.
But other than that, man, very blessed.
That's a lot better.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Dude, we had some good, a great fight. Interesting. Charles Oliveira last weekend. Let's take a look at this card. Now, of course, this is the Champ show, so we're gonna talk about anybody that makes it to your list, brother. You let me know if they're already on your list. Charles Oliveira, second round knockout over
No,
Mateus Gamrot, man. But that was a last minute fight for Mateus Gamrot. Came through
he's
number
a
eight
last
versus
minute
number
filler.
four. Charles Oliveira coming off of a knockout over Ilia Topuria. But with that being said, I thought Charles Oliveira was kind of, you know, succumbing to father time. However, he comes out here, fights Mateus Gamrot, finishes him in the second round with the submission rear naked choke. Amazing. Charles Oliveira. I don't know. Has he ever been the champ? Yeah, he has. Of course he has, right? Charles Oliveira has been the champ.
Yeah. He is.
So
Yeah.
the fact that if he's on my list, if he's on your list, I don't think that's really a question. Guy touched gold, so automatically gets you on that list. But will he get back? He's number four in the world. What do you think for Charles Oliveira, bro?
I don't know if I can count this fight just because the guy was last minute fill-in. I mean, you're supposed to fight for Ziev, and this guy fills in and you beat him. It just it's like it's the same asterisk as when Oliveira or when Islam beat Volkanovski, last minute feeling like I don't count that because you didn't beat him when he trained and you didn't beat him when you weren't ready. Now you beat a guy when he's last minute feeling is just not the same.
I
So
understand, brother.
because they got to get to train. He doesn't train for you. Like we know Oliveira is lethal on the ground. He got a submission, and that means Gamrot wasn't prepared. I mean, so is Oliveira on my? Do I think he can become champion again? No, not right now. Um,
Champion is Ilia Topuria, number
Yeah,
one.
he just got slept by Taporia, right? He got slept by the champ. Does that mean you're ready to
Yeah.
fight him
Number
again?
two is
Not really.
Arman Zarukian, bro. Number three is Charles Oliveira now because those rankings are live as of Tuesday.
Mm.
Number four is Max Holloway. After the fight, a lot of the fans noticed that there was talks of Max Holloway being a BMF fight against Charles Oliveira. Are we interested in Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway, aka number three in the division versus number four in Max Holloway?
I think the problem is that BMF is almost like no ground, nothing, but it's like a UFC boxing match, like unwritten, right? Like we haven't seen a single BMF fight where somebody got taken to the ground. If I'm not mistaken, am I mistaken? Um,
No, I don't
but
think
I'm
so.
pretty, yeah, I'm
Crazy,
pretty sure
crazy
BMF is
ball.
like BMF is basically UFC boxing match, kickboxing match, but so it's like all striking. It's like the video game. Like we're here to just strike, bro. And if you like do any kind of grappling, any kind of takedowns, it's like you're obviously not a BMF.
Right.
And
It started with Nate Diaz and Masvidal. Those guys don't, they're not crotch sniffers. Oh, you're a wrestler now. No, that's not in their style. Those
was
guys
it Nate
stand up
Diaz?
fight.
Was it Nate Diaz that or was it Nate Diaz and
Yeah.
versus
And then what's his face won? Masvidal won.
Masvidal was the first, huh? And
Well,
then
I could be wrong, but I want to say yes. So, who
mm,
was the first UFC
I don't remember
BMF?
Nate Diaz. I don't remember Nate Diaz being in the BMF.
Yeah. The first one to the UFC BMF belt was George Masvidal.
Yeah.
who won the title by defeating Nate Diaz.
Okay. All right. And then who took it from Masvidal?
Oh, doo, 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 doo. Better lineage. See. So
He
this was UFC 244, November 2019. If I'm correct, bro,
within 4
Nate
years.
Diaz had that
4 years?
infamous call out of Conor McGregor. He got his fight. Nate Diaz did something similar with Masvidal. Nate Diaz went in there, got a sick win. I don't remember who it was for, but on his, post fight little Joe Rogan's like, "Congrats, bro, you won." He's like, "Hey man, I'm a West Coast gangster and I want to fight the East Coast gangster." Obviously, Nate Diaz being from Stockton, California, West Coast, calling out the East Coast gangster in Miami, Florida, with George Masvidal. That's how it started, and yeah, they fought over in New York City. But moving forward, I don't think they really took it away from them. It was just like a one of one
Mm.
because of like who they were at the time. Second one, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, UFC 291, July 2023, 2 years ago.
And Gaethje
Uh,
won that. And then
Gaethje won with the head kick over
right.
Dustin Poirier. That was
And
insane. I remember
and
watching that.
Holloway and
Crazy.
then Holloway beat Gaethje and then Holloway
UFC
now has
300 with the
okay.
infamous point to the ground in the last 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Okay. So again, like I said, I just think that I'm not interested because I don't want to see Charles Oliveira. Um,
This would be a one of one.
he's not a striker. He's not an elite striker. So it's really just not. Um, I don't see it doing. It's not even a good take for him. I don't think Oliveira. I mean, Oliveira would take any fight because he's just that guy, but he's not. He's not a good
I
enough
will say
striker.
this though, bro. Like as far as moving the chains, like you got to do something. I think Islam is pretty much busy. Number one, he's number one contender in that weight class. Number two contender, Arman Zarukian. He just accepted a fight with number seven Dan Hooker. Really random, really
Gross.
random. But at the same time, he
Gross.
missed the. He had like a back injury, had to pull out early. I think this is a UFC telling him like, you know, you're not in
Let
our
him
good
work his
graces.
way back
With
in.
this gauntlet right here, and if you can still deserve to be at the top, then eye for an eye type thing. Kind of petty on the UFC, but I'm not the shot callers. Anyway, my point being is that all these guys are pretty much occupied. The only other guy who's not occupied is going to be number five Gaethje, number six Paddy Pimblett.
That might be. Patty's not really a striker either.
I want to see Paddy Pimblett fight somebody next, like pretty soon. I guess Charles Oliveira would be nice. But I
The thing is, if you're gonna fight, if you're gonna fight Max Holloway, it's gonna be a BMF. You got to be a striker. That's all. I just don't know if
The BMF would be cool between those two. I wouldn't mind
who
watching it, but for the sake of like new blood, get the division some fun. Let's see what Paddy Pimblett got, man. Let's give him that opportunity to fight either Max Holloway or Charles Oliveira. So we'll see. I think right now Charles Oliveira doesn't have what it takes to become champion again in the future. He had been already lucky enough or successful enough, worked hard enough to touch gold. Good for him, but not again. I don't think so. Let's get
let
Patty
me pull
Pimblett in the
this up. Let me pull up.
mix and let's see what's good.
I think we got to go outside. I think we have to go outside the top 10, bro. I don't think. Let me look at this right now. Patty Pimblett, but down Darius.
He's number six in the world in that weight class, and he has a big history with Ilya Taporia. I really want to see that fight, bro. That's why I want to like streamline that fight with Patty Pimblett. If you're number six, bro, Max Holloway got knocked out by Ilya Taporia. Charles Oliveira got knocked out by Ilya Taporia. Islam Makhachev's already busy, and Arman Zarukian has a fight. The only other guy that
Yeah,
is
there's really
new
just
is
the
Patty
top
Pimblett, bro.
15.
Justin Gaethje's
Yeah.
old. Not that he's old. I'm excited every time he fights.
No,
I'm
I
a
don't
big
want to
fan of
see. He
him.
already got slapped. No, he just got slapped, bro. You can't go back in. You got
That's what I'm
slapped. I don't
saying.
know that.
Patty Pimblett is number six, bro. He's on the cusp of the top
Mauricio
five.
Rufy. What about Mauricio Rufy? He's in the 15. He's number 15 right now. Mauricio Rufy.
Yeah, good for him. But I
I
want to
might.
see Patty
I'm just
Pimblett
trying. I'm
eventually
talking
go
about if you're talking about exciting striking match, right? I mean, we're talking about striking.
for
Nobody else in the
BMF.
top 15. Yeah, for me, if you're asking me, who I want to watch fight for the BMF, it's the two best strikers. I don't want to
Yes,
see
best
because
strikers
I
who
don't
have
even
a
consider
crazy
Max
record.
Holloway. Max
I
Holloway
would.
to me is not the third best. Is not ranked number three. I don't think he's even up there like that. The only thing he can win is a BMF because that's the only time his skill set is at the best. And I think Mauricio Arufi is the only guy that could compete with him outside of the champ. Or or it's Ilya Taporia and he goes for that belt and he gets double belts and the BMF belt. Like that might be the only other guy I would want to see. But Max Holloway already got slept by him too. But he's been slept already. So it's like really, if you're talking about
It makes sense
striking
for
match,
Charles Oliveira to call out Max
BMF,
because he's the holder of the belt, and I guess that's where his mind's at. But
because he knows
I'm not really too
but
excited for it, brother.
that's also just means that Charles Oliveira knows he can't beat Taporia. It's two dudes that can't beat Taporia fighting over a belt. And it's like, bro, if
That,
I'm really Taporia,
right?
it's like give me
That's
my
why we
belt.
gotta
You
get
guys
Patty
are fight
Pimblett,
below me.
Mauricio Rufy, this new
I
blood up
would
in
say
the
Rufy,
system,
yeah, bro. I
brother.
would say Rufy, not even Pimblett, because Pimblett's not a striker. He does most of his wins are by submission. I don't even know if Patty Pimblett has a knockout finish. I think he only has submissions. He's a submission guy. So like
He
he's like
just
Charles
knocked out
Oliveira.
Michael Chandler. KO. That was
Did
his
he knock him
multi-fight
out or did
line.
he knock
April
him down
12th,
and finish him?
2025. KO. TKO.
See, TKO is not a KO. You know what I mean? Because
KO
TKO
slash
is like you
TKO. I
knock him
mean,
down and you finish him on the ground, I guess. And also that guy, Michael Chandler's booty cheeks. So,
and then you got
uh,
submission versus Green, unanimous versus Ferguson, unanimous submission.
like I
Um,
said, bro, he's a submission guy. I know
KO.
he's not a
August
striker.
welcoming.
And if he has to fight Max Holloway with the hands only or legs, kicking and punching, it's not going to happen. The only guy that can do it is Mauricio Rufy, John Silva. Bring up Lord Silva to fight. I bring up one of those guys. I would say Rufy. Rufy's exciting enough with the striking. If it's gonna own, because that's how Rufy lost was that he was not getting out striked. He just didn't have any takedown. So if we're talking about only standing up, I say Rufy. If we're talking about making it a fight, but see, they're talking about
That's too
BMF,
big
like
of a
that is
jump, bro. 15 versus number
it's
three.
not a real belt, bro. It's not a real belt. It's not a real belt. It's not a real
Right.
belt. So we're
I,
gonna
I would rather see Pimlet, bro. I'd rather see it just new blood,
then
fast,
he's gonna go to the, so
went
if
over
let me
to
ask you
Ilya
this: if
Taporia.
Patty Pimblett takes him down, what happens? Boo. He should
I don't think
forfeit
that's the
the
only
belt.
way to success. Like, there's multiple ways to success for Patty Pimlet. I don't think he needs to like
He's,
resort
ne-
to that.
he's never had a fight where he didn't do that. That's his best. His best asset is
His last fight,
ground.
Michael Chandler.
Michael Chandler's not even in the top 15, and even then, he still was rap. He still would body wrap him and like get him on the ground. He didn't finish him in the first. What round did he win? I remember that fight.
Michael Chandler is top 15, corrected 12 of the
Yeah.
top 15. And he has a pretty good resume but he gets finished
Well,
by everybody, is what he should have done. It's still good. He can do it.
yeah, that's
He can do it, bro. I want to see Patty
yeah. Michael
Pimblett.
Chandler, right? Michael Chandler's
I
12,
think
but
Patty could beat him. That
I
I'm
mean,
gonna.
it's probably it would get people excited, but I don't think. I think Patty's going
I'm
to resort
not
to going
how
to the ground.
with this stance that I'm making. I'm not pooping on Roofy. I think Roofy in the near future is going to be in a position like Patty, number 6 in the world as opposed to number 15 in the world. He's on his way. He's on his way. He's just a step or
Yeah.
two behind, and then soon enough we'll be talking about that. For now, Patty Plymouth is the guy for
Yeah,
me.
Patty Pimblett would just be the most exciting, and not exciting, but name wise, Patty Pimblett would go up there, sure, name wise, but I don't think in any other way. And I think I just know for a fact he couldn't compete in boxing in any capacity, even kickboxing. It doesn't matter. He's going to end up going to the ground because if he's forced to stand up, it's going to be a KO. He's not going to be able to fight.
I
If
still
you're
think it's
forced,
worthy
that
of
thing
a BMF though.
you can't freaking dance, bro. You can't dance. You can't back up. The whole point of BMF is we're gonna stand here and fight, and somebody's going down. That's the whole point of BMF. And
That's
Patty Pimblett
exactly
is
how
not
Michael
built.
Chandler fights, bro. He
Yeah,
goes
that's why Michael Chandler took it,
strikes
but
and he
Patty
got
Pimblett's
KO'd,
not built for that.
TKO'd.
Patty Pimblett's
He
not
can
built for
handle
that,
that kind of style. Oh, I feel like
bro.
that fight could have even been a
Michael
bit.
Chandler's a wrestler, bro. Michael Chandler's a wrestler.
Yes,
Just because
but
he fights like
he
an
throws
idiot doesn't make
crazy.
him a striker. Just because he fights like an idiot does not make him a striker. He's a wrestler. The dude's a wrestler. His base is wrestling. He's not a puncher. He's not a striker. He's not a kicker. He's not any of that. He's a wrestler. And just because he wants to fight like he's a striker, it
His
doesn't make him
identity
a
is a
wrestler.
UFC wrestler, but his highlight reel, bro, is knockouts.
Yeah, from the
Because that's his
bottom,
style of fighting.
from the
He throws
bottom,
like that. He
yeah.
fights like that.
Patty doesn't. That's what I'm saying. Is that
But
that's
he
why
can
he got
handle
the
somebody
title.
like that. So it's a
Well,
perfect entrance to a BMF. Like you're gonna fight like that.
bro, you're comparing Patty Pimble. You're
Michael
comparing
Chandler.
Michael Chandler to Max Holloway in striking. That's what I'm hearing. You're saying that just because they fight the same does not mean that they're the same skill set. But I get it. Patty Pimblett's the name that people would want to, if you're gonna try to sell a BMF as a pay per view
Right.
or whatever, then Patty Pimblett's the name in that division. If you're gonna pick somebody out the division, if you're picking best striking, which would be what I would choose if, as a champ, I want to see the best strikers. The best strikers right now in top 15 is Rufy and Holloway. Really, it's Taporia. But out of everybody else, if
Yeah.
we're gonna stand here and bang, we have to stand here and bang, and you can't run, you can't hide, you can't take me down, you can't clinch, none of that. It's strictly stand up. Rufy's the guy. Patty Pimblett's not the guy, but Patty Pimblett, his name is good for him. I don't even think I don't even know if Patty Pimblett would take it because he knows he can't. That's not his fight style. But if he took it, maybe he gets the pay-per-view money, maybe bigger money, maybe he takes a fight. He's undefeated though, I believe. So I don't know if he'd want to risk that. I don't know. If I was Patty Pimblett, I wouldn't want to fight Holloway in a BMF. I'd rather fight him regular, not for the title, because then I can use all my weapons. Like even if it's a video game and I have to fight you with Patty Pimblett and I can't do anything but punch and it's versus Max Holloway, I wouldn't take the like. It's not lined up for him. It's really not. And maybe they just take the BMF and give it to somebody else. Like Max Holloway can retire as a BMF, just like they did for the very first one, Masvidal and whatchamacallit, and they pick a different division because this division is not built for it. Maybe you go to like middleweight, or light heavy, you go to middleweight or something. Those guys got some real bangers in middleweight. I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't. It just depends, man. BMF could
I
be his
mean,
best
honestly,
striker.
Mauricio Rufy, like I said, I'm not pooping on him. Dude is good. I just
He's
feel
just
like he
not
just
big
gets
enough. His
behind.
name isn't big enough. He hasn't fought enough. The same as
He's
Patty
part of a
Pimblett's
big
fought.
team, though. If he's not big enough now, like when are you going to be? You know what I mean? He's
Who, Rufy
part of
or Pimblett?
the fighting nerds, isn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, he just lost
Like,
his last
bro,
fight. He's
if
only had
you're,
3 fights.
it's
He's
like
only had
being
three
part
fights.
of the Lakers and nobody, not having a big enough name. You're
Well,
part
if
of
you
the
only had three,
biggest
if you're a
organization
rookie,
or
if you're a
team, at
rookie,
least.
he's still a rookie though. He's only fought 3 times.
My
He's had three
point
fights.
exactly. He's
So
just a
Pimblett,
step or
but
two
Pimblett
away. He
picks
has what it
Pimblett.
takes, and soon
Who's he
enough,
fought?
he will be in that position if
Who
he
did
can
Pimblett
prove it.
fought, bro?
But we've seen every single one of these uh, people that come from his training camp, which are the fighting nerds, do so well coming up with all these guys who aren't as good enough as them. And when they get that real competition, I don't know if it's pressure or something else, but they've all failed. I can name all of them. They've all recently come off of a loss. The only guy who's sort of started to kind of get that winning streak back is Carlos Prates, but that's just he's not even right. There's people closer to the belt than he is in his team. Rufy does have a.
Yeah, that's but the only reason.
I mean,
The only reason they lost is because they're only strikers. That's my point. Is that the only reason that those guys lost
all
is
those
not
guys could
because
be BMFs for
is because
sure.
they only know how to strike. This guy, look, bro. I'm on the UFC.com right now, right? In his previous fight,
Right.
Chandler Pimblett, right? It goes Michael Chandler fighting style striker, Patty Pimblett fighting style jiu-jitsu. The dude is not a fucking striker, bro. He only had 5 fights. He only has 5 fights. He had one fight against Michael Chandler, who's trash. Michael Chandler is probably the worst striker of the entire freaking UFC, bro. If he's gonna call himself a striker, if he's gonna call himself a striker, he's probably the worst self-proclaimed striker I've ever seen. He has no
No, I
just
hear
because he
you.
has
I hear you. Like, what
knockout,
is the BMF, right?
and then when
This
he
has to
fought when
be
he
like an
fought a
identity
real
thing.
striker, bro, which was Green, right? Well, I don't know what he named. Chaos. What does Green call himself now? Something with his first name.
King.
What is his King Green? Yeah. When he fought Green, he had to go to the ground. He went to the ground because he did not want to punch with Green. Green is somebody that would go in the bat against Holloway. You know what I mean? And Green's actually fighting Rufy, but you know who KO'd Green? Rufy. Rufy KO'd Green in the first round. That was his last. That was King Green's last fight. Got retired, in my opinion, by Mauricio Rufy, who who flatlined him with the striking. He outstruck a real striker. Paddy Pimblett, when he fought King Green, had to submit him, and I watched that. He did like the back taking, like took him down. He finished him like that. Paddy Pimblett is a jiu-jitsu artist. He's a jiu-jitsu guy, and he's only had 5 fights. 5 fights, bro. He fought Jordan Levitt submission. Gordon,
Crazy
he
fight
couldn't even
there.
finish. Couldn't even finish Ferguson. He didn't even finish Tony Ferguson when he fought him, and he was old, and he had to go to decision. The only person he beat was King Green, and that was via submission. And the Michael Chandler fight, I have to really rewatch it to see like how he knocked him down. I can watch it, but I don't really. It's just like I said, that's my final take. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather see Rufy in terms of the BMF
Michael
title. And
Chandler's
if
number
we're talking
12 right
about next
now,
fight,
but I'm pretty sure he was like number 8 or something when Patty
yeah, it's
beat him.
these rankings mean trash, bro. They got Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's fighting
That's why
somebody.
we got
What are
this
we
show,
doing?
guys. This is
Yeah,
exactly why we
man.
have the show.
I'd rather see, like I said, I'd rather see Rufy if it's going to be BMF. If it's not going to be BMF, then it doesn't really matter. Charles Oliveira versus Paddy Pimblett is a better match, in my opinion. Um,
Who
Oliveira is really just a gatekeeper. Oliveira is a gatekeeper for me, and I'd rather retire Max Holloway with the BMF, and then move it to a different division. That's what I'd rather do.
Hell yeah.
I'd rather see like middleweights. I'd rather see it move up to middleweight and let those guys bang for a BMF, and let Max Holloway retire with that. And because he is just with the way he did it was just epic, and it'll never be. You can't really top it. But if you're gonna make Paddy Pimblett stand in the ring and go bang bang, with in the middle with Max Holloway, it's not gonna go well for him. He knows he won't. I don't think he'd even take that fight. He's too smart. He's undefeated. You don't want to lose that record. So, like I said, that's my final take. I'd rather see them just move the BMF to a different division.
Can Armand
Um,
beat Ilya, bro?
I don't think anybody's being Ilya. That's why they don't want to fight him.
Don't even-
Armand has to fight Hooker, I guess, and that's just. I don't
That's
even
what
know
the
how Dan
UFC
Hooker's
forced
even
him,
in
bro. UFC forced
UFC.
him.
Well, I don't even know how Hooker's in the UFC. I don't even know how he's still in the UFC. Hooker is just that's kind of wild to me that he's still even in the UFC.
Well, all right.
So
That was a great conversation
I don't
there.
know, man.
I
Yeah,
think
I'm not
we'll
sure what they're
finish
doing,
on
man. I'm
that.
not sure what they're doing, honestly.
Exciting
Yeah,
times,
what
Charles
in
Oliveira.
terms of the
Welcome
other
back to the
fight,
winning circle. But bro, you were gonna say something?
in terms of other fights from last, yeah, in terms of other fights from last week, I know
Yeah.
there's only other guy on my list was
Regarding
only
that.
other guy that made my champ list is Mario Pinto. He's from the
Mario
Contender Series.
Pinto, KO
He's
the
a
second
heavyweight.
round.
Yeah, yeah, and he KO'd a good guy. Jonata Denise is no joke. He's a banger. And he actually finish him is impressive. That's probably the only guy for me.
Definitely a big dude, bro. Huge guy. What 11
Yeah,
and
Mario
0.
Pinto came from the Contender Series.
Crazy. Yeah, got some ground and
It might
pound
only be
right
his second
there.
fight.
Striking accuracy. I know he's still young, but there's some pretty good stats. Good for him. All right, I'll remember his name. Mario Pinto. A little too early
Yeah,
to put you on the list, brother. But I'll remember your name, Mario Pinto from Portugal.
yeah,
Ooh,
he's on the radar. He's on the radar for me for sure. He was on the Contender Series. He's a beast on the radar.
a few good wins
Anybody
here.
else?
KO. But as far as being on our list, that was
Mm,
about it. I think we can go over to
yeah,
the
there's
next
not weren't a
show.
lot of fights. Yeah, there weren't a lot of fights last week. And then upcoming, I swear we just talked about.
We got, dude, UFC Fight Night in Vancouver, Canada. The Canadians, the maple syrup, moose. Man, I gotta go to Canada once. But anyway, we got number 4 in the middleweight bouts. Renier de Ritter versus number 9, Brendan Allen. I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. I got a big, big soft. How do I say this? I'm a huge fan of Brendan Allen. I like the way he fights. I like the way he carries himself in and outside of the octagon. And I
Yeah, be a
really
banger.
feel like he's one of the better guys in that division. Just a well-rounded guy on a great winning streak. Just for the record, let's take a closer look. Who is Brendan Allen? Who has he just beat?
He just
Oh,
beat Alex Hernandez, I would assume. If I'm not mistaken, that was the last fight was Hernandez. So we just talked about this like 2 weeks
no,
ago.
Mala.
He lost to
He
Hernandez.
won Vittori. He beat Vittori recently, July 19, 2025. And then he fought Hernandez in February 2022, which he lost. And then
Right.
he
See,
lost against Imavov, but he won
yeah,
against Curtis, won against Craig. All right,
he's a
kind of
good he's
having
a
a
good
Robbie.
fighter, but he's not. He like I said, I know he's not on my radar. He's not on my radar. He's just a good fighter. This will
He's a
be a
good
great
fighter.
fight.
I agree.
Renier de Ritter is Renier de Ritter was I think he fought. I'm trying to think. Let me pull
He
up
just
his.
beat the Robert
He was
Whitaker.
supposed to fight Fluffy. He was supposed to fight Fluffy, but that didn't. That's what happened. That's why they called him Brendan Allen because Renier de Ritter was actually it was scheduled to
Bro,
fight Anthony
look at
Hernandez,
this. Look at his
and
resume,
that
bro.
got canceled
Robert
when Brendan
Whitaker,
Allen filled in.
Bo Nickel, Kevin Holland. Those three guys are no
Yeah,
joke.
yeah. No, he's that's why I said Renier de Ritter's been on my radar since he beat. I want to say well he didn't even finish. I think it was after he beat Bo Nickel, but he's been on my radar because I didn't thought the name was so
I never
stupid, but he's
liked
been on
Bo
my
Nickel. I
radar.
was impressed after the
And
Whitaker fight.
Brendan Allen is a fill-in, so I think that Brendan Allen and Anthony Hernandez are like kind of like both this. After Anthony Hernandez won, he became the guy for me over Brendan Allen because he beat the guy that I thought they were the same.
Right.
The middleweight division has a lot of talent. You have Joe Pyfer in that talent. I think that's what we were talking about was like Joe Pyfer maybe, and and we talk about who does Joe Pyfer fight next. I think it's one of these guys. I think it's maybe the winner of. Well, see, it would have been Anthony Hernandez. Brendan Allen's not really supposed to have this fight. Um, but Renee Ritter's Brendan Allen's a great guy. Love the guy. Just don't think he's top five. I don't think he's on the. I don't think he'll be champion soon. Renee Ritter has a better chance of becoming champion. He's been on my radar. I want to see. There's Atiba Gautier's in that division. He just fought last time and finished. He needs real competition and experience.
Joe Piper is
Joe
15 right
Piper's
now.
in
That's
there.
the most
Yeah.
recent ranking.
Okay. Joe Piper's up there. He's in top 15. Then that's nice.
Just cracked it.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean that's who I'd rather see fight Brendan Allen is Joe Piper fight somebody like Brendan Allen and Renee Ritter.
Nice.
Who else is who's in the top 15 of that lightweight?
Well, we don't have too much
It'll
time,
be a
so just for
banger,
the
bro.
sake
It'll
of
be a
time,
banger for sure.
I would say that Renier
It'll
de
be
Ritter
a
is
banger.
taking
That's all
this,
I can say.
bro,
It's gonna be
and
a
he's on
banger.
our list. Would you agree?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Brandon
Renee
Allen, you're
Ritter's on
good,
the
bro.
radar
Well,
for sure.
Renier's on our list, and he's the guy. He's the guy. Keep a good
Mike
lookout for him.
Malott is gonna be a banger.
But is he on your
It's gonna be a
list?
lot of great fights. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta. No, he's just on the radar. I don't think he's ready to be champ.
Well,
Yet.
Michael Lott's fighting number 15, Kevin Holland. So I've always liked his style. Canadian fighter reminds me of that like hockey, fight kind of grit in him. And if he beats Kevin Holland, which is a tough fight, really, really tough fight, you break it, you back to top 15, brother, and then from there we'll start talking about you. But Michael Lott, you're on my radar. We'll see what you can do. Number 7, Marlon Vera versus Amon.
Ito Vera versus the Hobby. It's gonna be a great fight. Be a great fight.
I don't think either of these
Even
guys
the
are on my
even the
list.
Cody Gibson, even Cody Gibson's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be just a great card. That's all I can say. It's gonna be a great card. Not a lot of champions on it. Steamroller Matt Frivola. I don't think there's gonna be any real champs on this fight,
Drew
but it's
Dober
gonna
versus
be
Kyle Propal. That should be a
yeah,
banger.
man. Even Bruno Silva, Park Young, Danny Barlow. There's gonna be some great fights, and you know what? People might make a name for themselves. They might get put on the radar from this fight. That's all I can say. It might be a bunch of people, a bunch of low key dudes that might get put on the radar after this night. Great. I'm
Definitely,
expecting. I'm
definitely.
expecting a lot of
I
great
like
fights. That's all it
Yusung
is.
Park too. The dude's a banger, bro. Versus
Yeah,
Bruno
man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's
Drew
gonna be a great fight.
Dober,
A lot of those
Kyle.
guys.
What's gonna be a banger? Charles Jourdain
Even the
striker
girls.
versus
Even
Davy
the
Grant.
girls.
Oh my,
Even
that
the girls,
that's
bro.
BMF worthy.
Which one? Davey Grant and Charles Jane.
Yeah, dude. Those are that's gonna be crazy.
Even the girls, bro. Tainara, Stephanie Luciano versus Ravina Oliveira is gonna be a great fight. Even on the main card, they have a girl, Manon Fiorot versus Jasmine. Those are gonna be great fights. Even the girls. So
Figure it
just
out.
I'm expecting, Bangers and mash is what we could expect.
Bangers and mash.
No,
Now, as far as the
no
radar goes,
steak,
Mike
no
Malott,
steak,
we'll see
no
what you got to
steak and
do.
tartar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have Mike Malott winning that fight. But that's also BMF worthy. Like those guys are gonna stand and bang.
Definitely, bro. Kevin Holland is a finisher.
They're gonna stand and bang, bro. They're gonna stand and bang, and somebody's going down. That's for sure.
So is Marlon Vera. Marlon Vera's been gone for a while. I'm excited to see him back again. Like
But
you
he's
mentioned,
fighting
he's
like a
getting pretty
ground
over.
guy. He's fighting kind of a ground guy, so it won't be a stand and bang fight. But I'm expecting it'll be a great fight. Actually, these are all just great fights. These
Scrap.
are all equally great fights. They're all equal fights. They're all great fights. A lot of some names might be made. I think, especially in the women's division, is actually what I'm expecting the women to be the most. I might find a champ out of the women. That's what I'm expecting.
I'm excited for Renier de Ritter. What's next, bro? He wins. What's next?
Who's the champ at middleweight? I can't remember.
Hamzat Chimaev, who just shut
Ugh.
down Dracus Duplessis for 5 rounds.
And I say that. I say that. I say he fights. I mean, he'll be in the top five. RDR should be in the top five, and I think.
Renier's
I
number
think.
four, and
Yeah.
in front of him are Sean Strickland,
Boo.
Nazardine Imavov, and Dracus Duplessis.
Imavov actually deserves a title shot first. So I would say if RDR wins, he should fight DDP, and
Great fight.
Imavov should fight Hamzat. And
And then the
then
winner of
the
those two
winner of
bouts
those
face each
two,
other.
yep.
Well said, champ. Well, another great episode for us, bro. We got less than a minute on this thing before we shut it down. As always, it's a pleasure talking to you, and I hope you stay golden, champ. Stay golden.
Always, baby, always.
Guys, make sure to like and subscribe. We post every week, sometimes twice a week. Yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll be here next.